Hey guys, what's up? 21 Pilots is a super deep band, and there are 10 times where they got particularly deep, and I want to share those 10 times with you today. At number 1 is Guns for Hands, a particularly deep song about empathizing with people who have suicidal thoughts and depression. Tyler Joseph gets where they're coming from, and I like particularly these lines. I know what you think in the morning, when the sun shines on the ground and shows what you have done, it shows where your mind has gone. He understands where they're coming from and wants to offer his music as a substitute thing to think about, instead of those other thoughts. At number 2 is Goner, which is a song about giving up on your own ability to fix your problems and letting God do it. We particularly hear the lines, I've got two faces, Blurry is the one I'm not, remember his evil alter ego, I need your help to take him out. Implicit demand for proof goes back to the emotional side of theology and philosophy as Tyler asks God to show himself, even if it means striking Tyler dead with lightning. Strike me down, I am calling your lightning down from your dark hiding place. Go ahead and show me your face. He feels like God hasn't revealed himself to Tyler enough, and it's making him struggle with doubt. And he's saying that even if I have done something wrong in doubting you, I would still rather you show yourself. It would be worth it to see you. And then we have Taxi Cab. This one in particular actually mentions the Trinity, which is a super complicated theological concept. And he says here, driving once again, but now this time there were three men, and then I heard one of them say, I know the night will turn to gray, I know the stars will start to fade when all the darkness fades away. We had to steal him from his fate so he could see another day. And so it's essentially the Godhead 3 in 1 rescuing him from his own death. And for a song that just sounds so cool, like so many of these songs do, for it to be about something so deep and personal, I just think is crazy. And then at number 5 we have Migraine, where he sings about the depressing thoughts inside of his head and compares them to an actual headache. In fact, he sings, sometimes death seems better than the migraine in my head. Let it be said what the headache represents. It's me defending in suspense. It's me suspended in a defenseless test, being tested by a ruthless examinant that's represented best by my depressing thoughts. But it's just so good. It's so good. Migraine is such a good song. And then at number 6, we have Trees, which is probably deeper for the emotions of it, but essentially what's happening here is Tyler, again, is asking God to show himself, but he's going into the forest and he feels something and he just wants God to be there. He asks, why won't you speak where I happen to be? Silent in the trees, standing cowardly. Tyler is afraid of what he might find there, but he wants to find it, and it's so good. Kitchen Sink at number 7 is like a counseling session where Tyler tells people who feel like their life might be pointless how to find the beginning of purpose. He sings, are you searching for purpose? Then write something, yeah, it might be worthless. Then paint something and it might be wordless. Pointless curses, nonsense verses. You'll see purpose start to surface. No one is dealing with your demons, meaning maybe defeating them could be the beginning of your meaning, friend. Kitchen Sink is all about creating something that only you know the meaning of so that you can remind yourself that if you were to die, that meaning would go unexplained. And so for him, a kitchen sink means something particular that he won't tell us, just like the band's logo, and he encourages us to make something similar. Kind of like my fox picture here. It means something to me. I'm just kidding, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, so I love Ride, which comes in at number 8, and it's because it's the anti-deep song. Like, he goes deep in the verses, and he asks these questions like, who would you live for, who would you die for, and would you ever kill? But then in the bridge, he tells us, I've been thinking too much, I've been thinking too much. And so it's kind of like, yeah, it's great that like we go so deep all the time and we have all of these like big questions, but I just want to be able to take my time on my ride, and it's so cool. And just so that you guys aren't expecting something that's not going to be here, I'm about to tell you number 9, but I don't have a number 10 picked out. That's for you guys to decide. This channel is a conversation and a discussion. It's not me just telling people, so be sure to check out the comments below and upvote the song that you think is the deepest 21 Pilots song, and we'll see what everybody else thinks. But coming in at number 9 is my personal favorite 21 Pilots song, and that's Car Radio. And really honestly, as far as depth goes, it's hard to get deeper and more philosophical than this song. The whole song is about him having to embrace and think thoughts that are philosophical in nature, like where did we come from, where are we going, what's our purpose in life, but being distracted from those questions by entertainment or whatever happens to be our own personal car radio. He says, I hate this car that I'm driving. There's no hiding for me. I'm forced to deal with what I feel. There is no distraction to mask what is real. And then he even contemplates suicide for a moment. He says, I could pull the steering wheel. And then there's a line later where he says, there's faith and there's sleep. We need to pick one, please, because faith is to be awake, and to be awake is for us to think, and for us to think is to be alive. This song is about thinking. And it's almost as if, though, in Ride, he rethought it and was like, well, maybe I've been thinking too much from car radio. And so it's like these two songs balance each other, which is why I think they're the two deepest 21 Pilots songs. But it's just so incredible. Hey guys, I know this wasn't a typical 21 Pilots Tuesday video, but last week the votes were like really spread out over a lot of options, and so I figured it would be a good idea to make a list. That way everybody could feel included. And if you're interested in hearing more about this, I have a feeling that tomorrow's podcast is going to be an episode of me going more in depth on each of these songs as a list and kind of showing maybe like how the thoughts developed and all of this good stuff, and to see like how the band became what it is thought-wise. So link in the description for that. Don't forget to tell me what you think the deepest 21 Pilots song is, so that the rest of the world can see, agree, disagree, argue about it, fight, whatever happens. Thanks for watching, everybody. Talk to you next time.